And you know what? My question is to you that they are working on setting up almost a dictatorial, a totalitarian government within the United States of America. And they're making it to get the climate so bad to where you want the National Guards to come in to police the people where it be acceptable to them. Are they doing that, or is it a figment of my imagination that they want to use? Because the aldermen have said they have want the National Guards to come in, and the people are starting. So, what do you think about that? The National Guards coming into Chicago, New York, California.
Well, let me put it this way. The nation is bankrupt financially. They're totally bankrupt. But most of the Western nations are bankrupt. And the world economy is in tatters. Now, as far as trying
No phone number. Okay.
As far as trying to reconcile this thing, it cannot. You know, it's gone too far. And as far as trying to put the thing back together, the evil forces, as he mentioned, Club of Rome, all these financial institutions, they have already taken the positions in the government that are powers of power. Yes. Certain positions have already been taken, and they have their people in there. So when you go on the street and demonstrate, that's it. You go somewhere and sit down. It's already made. It's already done. It's it's like a truck running down the hill at 70 miles an hour. It's impossible to turn that truck around and get it to go back up because of a level of physics. Momentum is gone. So I'm saying the momentum, as far as now, the way that they got to institute to what you call the New World Order or the totalitarian society to undermine the Constitution, etc. What they do is, that's the reason for the virus. They cut loose a virus, a bioweapon, on the people and on the world. You know, it's almost 100 million people. Right? That's what it's about.
Let me say something to the people that are looking at, you know, and I'm very sorry that you cannot call in. Okay. But you know what? They're enemies that are watching, maybe from Homeland Security, CIA, FBI. Oh, I got to say it.
Yeah, it's no problem. Yeah. I mean,
that, you know what, and since I called it, they changed it, that are working towards the detriment of the people.
Okay.
Okay, they're watching.
No, not only are they working, it's already been done. What we're seeing now is the fake manifestations. And what I'm saying to you is that virus has totally undermined the system. It was a cover for the financial system collapsing. Yes. So what they did, they cut loose this virus on the whole world, which further aided to them to perpetuate their system. For instance, the First Amendment is already gone. You were not allowed to assemble. You was not allowed to go to church. And matter of fact, they was told you to stay in your house for over 3 or 4 months. See, now they come out with a damn vaccine passport, which is actually the sign of the beast. In other words, you know, certain places, listen, you cannot go to a museum, you cannot go to any type of sport event, any type of restaurant, unless you have that card.
Yes, I know.
Now, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
I'm a card carrier member, I know.
Where is your freedom at? Yeah. Freedom of assembly, freedom of worship, all that stuff has been gone. It's already been undermined. The only thing that has not been undermined in this country is the Second Amendment. And they're scared if they do that, you got a damn civil war in this country.
Yes.
Now, see, I'm going to say something. I'm smart enough to know they're putting the number up. Okay. But I'm smart enough to know that the government may be blocking people from calling. But go ahead.
I'll say this: they don't have to block it. The people have already been brainwashed.
Well, okay.
Now I'm going to say this: if you go to the people in Europe, you see how they out demonstrating. Europe, all of Germany, all of stuff, all over the world. In Europe, in the EU, they demonstrate. Americans don't do number 7 watch TV.
Well, yeah, I agree, Dr. Warren. As far as that it goes. As a matter of fact, this point that you raised, Dr. Warren, was also raised by Michael Moore in the documentary film that he did, Sicko. A number of years ago, he mentioned that. He said that the people were talking, they were over and they showed like the healthcare system in different countries, right? You know, Paris, Paris, England, different spots. And they said he said when they were talking to people, he said that the people out here demonstrating, and this is in Europe, they were demonstrating. He said only here in the U.S. is that, and Noam Chomsky mentioned this, only Americans, the only ones that ask for instructors. What did I do? They had to be told what to do when these people automatically are out in the streets doing stuff. Now, this is Michael Moore talking about. So I agree with many of the points that you raised, and I think that what they're doing, they have manufactured a crisis. They created a crisis. They created crisis points and stuff. And then now, if you don't resolve the crisis the way they want you to resolve it, then they keep the crisis going. See, this was mentioned in a position paper put out by the Trial Commission called The Crisis of Democracy, right? In 1975-76, you had people like Samuel Huntington and several people. The Trial Commission made up of the United States and Canada, Western Europe, and Japan, right? So you had Japan, Western Europe, and you had the U.S. and Canada together, right? And they made a decision because what they found out back in the 1950s and 60s, when they saw the various demonstrations in the early 70s, that these people are here demanding freedom and democracy, etc. And doggone, we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow them to have the freedoms, and they said that they're not concerned about people who have weapons or guns. They're concerned about people who have a value system, belief system. That is what they fear. And that is the reason why they assassinated different leaders, etc., because they were talking about freedom and liberation, etc., and about exercising your democratic rights.
Well, let me ask you quick, Randy, are they, you know what, you're saying it, but are they, they want chaos to be the order of the day. So when they call the National Guards, you won't get angry. Would you agree with that?
No, I'm gonna tell you what the deal is going on. See, now I'm gonna be real quick, and I hope you don't mind, Dr. Warren, if I just briefly, I'll be real brief. One, the people who calling for the National Guard, that tells you that they failed in terms of addressing the issue. They see that the people are because they have not done their job as representatives from the community, as leaders and stuff, and as politicians and stuff. So because they failed, they panic. Because I can tell you some of the people who call for the National Guard, and I say, well, why would you call for the National Guard when you haven't done everything that you can, even for example. People like Cynthia McKinney, dynamic woman, did everything, but she was attacked, neutralized in Georgia because of her activism. Cynthia McKinney, activist, was exposed and questioning people like people from the Bush administration back in 2001, 2002. She was attacked. We worked on her campaign, tried to get her re-elected. She was defeated in 2002, right? Because of Bush and because she raised questions about what did Cheney and Bush know prior to 9/11, right? So then you have people like Gus Savage, Congressman Gus Savage. They did not like Gus Savage. See, I know it because Uncle Sambo Mel Reynolds came to me. Was talking about Gus Savage back in 1988, 1990. He was talking about how Gus didn't do this, but he didn't tell the people. He wouldn't tell me. He didn't tell me that he was backed by these pro-Zionist groups, the pro-Israel groups like AIPAC and all them, and all these different people who were racist and who had problems with black leaders who speak out. Black leaders who were very assertive, who fight for the rights of our people and stuff like that, and demanded that our people be treated with respect. And so they attacked Gus Savage. They attacked any black leaders. Talking Cynthia McKinney. I mean, the list goes on and on. Where they were attacked because they were advocating for our people. And Gus Savage, every year he voted. The Congressman Gus Savage voted every year against aid to Israel. So yes, they failed black leadership. Is the issue. They have failed to address the issues, and that's why people were asking questions back in 2020 and 2021. Where are the black leaders? Why are they so quiet? Why are most of them so quiet? Why don't they stand up? Why aren't they challenging stuff that's going on? And see, and a number of them were doing stuff. You just, a few of them, that was here, and other all over the world. But they were not addressing the issues of people because they're afraid. They're afraid because now they see what was going on, and it appears that we're moving to a fascism or a totalitarian state or authoritarianism. And because but the problem is you can challenge and stop a lot of stuff if you get organized. The Kwame Carmichael talks about years ago. You had to get organized.
I want to add, this is a live television show. And you know what the telephone number for, if somebody that cannot see, the telephone number is 312. I can barely see myself. 312-738-1800. 4 or 5. I want to go back to Chicago, New York, and California. I would like to ask y'all, how is it that a young man would know to break into a freight train and know what card it is and distribute guns into the African American community, and they can barely read on a 3rd grade level? How? And there's 2 questions I want to ask you. And the other question, Mayor Lightfoot, if they were selling drugs in her community, on her block, or somebody got killed on her block, Chief Brown, would that person be found?